If you're having a hard time deciding whether to go back to work or stay home with your newborn, you may want to consider how both would affect your family finances. Here to help us figure it all out is Care.com founder and CEO Shelia Marcelo. So good to have you here.
Thanks for having me, Julie.
Thanks for helping us sort this out today, because I know it can be a really tough decision. It was for me, for moms, for parents, whether to go back to work or not. And a lot of things factor in. I know one of the biggest is finances, and moms often say, I don't think I can afford to stay home, but that's not really always the case, is it?
It's not always the case. Sometimes staying home can actually save you money, and it actually works out. And because there's this codependency, families pay for care to work and work to pay for care. And it's just this juggle and trying to figure that out, and so I'm happy to help.
Okay, so tell us what the average family typically pays for a babysitter, for a nanny.
It's about 14% of the annual income. That's about $12,000 annually. Now, obviously, in larger metropolitan areas where the cost of living is higher, that's even more expensive.
It's a lot more, exactly.
And on average, it's even higher now than rent and on par with mortgage payments. So it's really expensive for families.
So what you're saying is you could actually go to work to earn your paycheck, to actually give it all to the babysitter or to childcare.
Exactly.
So now this is when you have to figure it out. So how do you figure out what makes sense for your family financially?
So first of all is make sure that you're doing a budget and make sure that you're considering the paycheck of not just you and your husband, but oftentimes we assume that the traditional role of women is that our paycheck is really what pays for childcare, when in fact you've got to look at the combined income together. And sometimes if you make more money, in fact I know many families who consider dads to stay at home. And so it's factoring both of that together and looking at the expenses. And the other thing is sometimes caregivers can actually save money for you. If you're getting somebody to help you with household chores and also helping you cook, you might eat out less. So the overall budget could be that you're saving money even though you have a caregiver. So you have to factor all of those things together when doing your budget.
Good things to think about. I hadn't thought of that before. So what else besides just your paycheck should you be thinking of when you make this decision?
It's a long-term investment, and we often forget those deductions that are taken out for 401k and your Social Security benefits. Working isn't just a short-term thing that you're comparing with childcare, but it's also a long-term investment for your family when you're working.
Okay, and aside from finances, many parents say that it's really hard for them to juggle. It's hard for anyone, I think, to juggle home and work at the same time. Is that something to consider, whether it's going to be actually doable for you?
It's certainly, you know, when we did a survey on Care.com, the State of Care survey, we found that half of parents found that their career and work performance were impacted by childcare responsibility. It certainly stresses parents out. And so it's something to consider in terms of balancing what's going to give you peace of mind. If it's staying at home with your kids and that is allowing you to be more focused as a great parent, then it probably makes sense to not work. But if you're looking for personal fulfillment and happiness as well, and working is helping you that way, then it may make sense to balance the two together.
Let's talk more about that, because I think a lot of women and men too don't necessarily factor in themselves. Either I have to work or I have to stay home, but you need to be happy and you need to feel fulfilled, because
that's right. That's
right,
Julie.
Work.
That's right. And happy parents make for happy kids. And it's very important to look at, you know, do you enjoy the social environment at work? Do you enjoy the deliverables at work, and it gives you a sense of fulfillment? Those things are important, and it increases your self-worth, because if you're at home and you're caring for your kids but you're really unhappy, then that's not necessarily a recipe for peace of mind and the long-term child development that's important for your kids.
You have given us a lot to think about today, Shelia. Thank you so much for coming in and sharing these tips with us. Really appreciate it.
Okay.
Okay, and if you'd like more tips or help finding a babysitter where you live, go to www.care.com. Thank you so much for watching Parents TV. We will see you again next time.